Amberlynn Reid just blocked me on Twitter because I called her out. I just spent the last 20 minutes bawling my eyes out. You guys have been telling me, get help, get a dietitian. I have one now. We're 88.6. Talk to you guys a little bit about, you know, what I'm gonna be doing to lose weight. So, it's pretty sad that in 14 days, I haven't made any progress when it comes to my weight.
So what causes someone to go from this to this? Meet Amberlynn Reid, social media influencer, mukbang enthusiast, and you know, accused manipulator. For the past 5 years, Amberlynn Reid has documented her weight loss journey, and the results, you know, not bad.
There's not really this.
Oh, that's not her? Okay, you know, so we have some work to do. Now, weight loss can be a daunting task. Habits of unhealthy indulgence just don't simply go away. And personally, I've had my own struggles with weight and body dysmorphia, something that we are going to talk about. But is Amberlynn Reid really all that she seems? Or is there a deeper, unspoken problem? Something that she's not telling us? Well, let's uncover this mask. Rising to prominence, riding the wave of mukbang curiosity, a phenom originating in Korea where people sit down and, you know, eat. Wow, that's a lot of sustenance. Why do people like this? And now you may think, you know, mukbang, well, that goes against the idea of weight loss, supposedly the goal of Miss Reid. Views along with food can be an addiction all of their own. Now, perusing through various videos and reading the comments, she seems to have attracted quite the amount of negative attention over the years, even inciting various trends of people eating like Amberlynn as some sort of farce. But why? How did she get like this? How could anybody get like this? Could it be the real problem with Amberlynn Reid is one of a much more sinister nature? One that many of us, including myself, must face. So why is Amberlynn the way she is? Well, like with any individual, there is a story behind them. Let's send it to my friend Doplex to uncover the true Amberlynn Reid.
Now, I'm no therapist, but you don't really need to be one to see exactly what's going on here. What causes a person to go down such a dark road? Well, in most cases, it usually boils down to having a traumatic past. Amberlynn Reid has had just that, a traumatic past. I mean, from bouncing around from foster care to abusive relationships, I mean, I really do feel for her, and I don't think anybody should have to suffer like that. We've all had our fair share of spotty moments in our childhood. A lot of people suffer from weight gain, unwanted weight loss, body dysmorphia, you name it. People go through this sort of thing. The thing is, a normal person doesn't really broadcast this to the entire world unless they're trying to help someone or trying to be a voice of reason or inspiration. In the case of Amberlynn Reid, her videos consist of her ordering pizzas and crying. Now, I know you guys look at me and think, oh, Shorty Boy McThickums over here has no room to talk. I'll have you know I am on a goddamn regimen. But this isn't about me, okay? This is about a girl who might just be a little misguided. Aside from the inadvertent mukbangs that Amberlynn Reid uploads, she seems to be stuck in a vicious cycle.
So unhealthy.
It can't be easy. Using food as a vice, I mean, I feel for her and I hope she gets the help that she needs. But now on to the controversy. Yummy. YouTubers and gift cards. A pair just like peanut butter and jelly. Except with peanut butter and jelly, you always know what you're getting. In the case of Amberlynn Reid, to celebrate her 50,000 subscriber milestone, she decided to do your average run-of-the-mill gift card giveaway. She purchased a $50 gift card and held the giveaway on Instagram. Participants would have to tell her some sob story on why they need the $50. And a man by the name of Jose actually won this giveaway because his story touched her.
I've officially chosen a winner for the giveaway. The person I chose is just going through a really hard time right now, and that's why I'm crying. Their comment just really touched me.
Sounds sweet, right? Well, she failed to deliver. Seems like there was some sort of back and forth between Amberlynn and the recipient. She came up with a plethora of excuses on why she can't send him the gift card, and long story short, homie didn't get his gift card. So to cover up her tracks, Amberlynn went and deleted any sort of mention of the aforementioned giveaway. One thing I don't understand, if regardless of who you are, if you make a promise, if you put it out there for all to see, everybody knows that you are making this promise, why don't you just fulfill the goddamn promise? If you can't handle the shade, stop being so shady.
Okay, from what we know about Amber, you may be thinking right now, there's no hope for change. She's too out of control. But I disagree, and here's why. It's easy to criticize, but to understand someone like Amber, you must first enter the mind of someone like Amber. And that person is me.
I'm drunk.
If you look back at my shady YouTube past, you'll notice that I used to be a little bit more skeletal. Yeah, that's me. I'm someone that struggled with food, much like Amberlynn. That's because I had anorexia for 2 years of my life, and it was the worst experience I ever went through. I would constantly be in denial. I would argue with doctors, nutritionists, personal trainers. I thought I knew what was best for me, but I was wrong. And after many relapses and stern talking tos from my parents and medical professionals, I was able to recover. But how? How can someone like Amber, who's lied, cheated, and ruined her life, how can somebody get over these problems like I had?
I just am so upset with myself.
Well, luckily we have a mental health guru who's going to give us those answers right now.
What's up, everybody? It's Chris. And Ryan, thank you so much for asking me to be a guest over on your channel. Those of you who don't know me, I have a YouTube channel called The Rewired Soul. It's mainly about mental health, and addiction is part of mental health. I've made a couple videos about Amberlynn Reid, some about the hate that she gets and things like that. I just want people to learn from it, because with so many people watching YouTube, there's so much that we could take away. I am a recovering drug addict, alcoholic. I've been clean for 6.5 years. I've struggled with addiction in one way, shape, or form most of my life. One thing that we need to learn about addiction first is enabling. When looking at Amberlynn Reid, I would assume that it's very difficult for her to overcome her addiction. People have seen her relapse, like she tries to get healthy and then she tries to do different things to be better, but she just ends up back in the same place. Now, a big part of this is enabling. Basically, helping somebody keep doing their bad behavior. But one thing that we have to look at is the way the brain works with positive rewards. So if you're doing an unhealthy behavior and getting rewarded for it, you are being enabled. In Amberlynn Reid's case, with what she's doing and living the way that she's living, it is providing her with a source of income. It's also providing her with some validation, whether it's views, whether it's subscribers. Why would I give this up if I'm getting so much positive from this? Addiction is a terrible disease, especially when it comes to how it works in a similar way from drugs and alcohol to like even food. The part of the brain that's getting messed up is the prefrontal cortex. This part of the brain is responsible for things like self-awareness, as well as logical decision-making. The disease of addiction is one that makes you not want to get better. It makes you rationalize everything that you're doing. I could imagine anytime Amberlynn Reid wants to quit, her brain is lying to her and saying, no, why would you quit doing this? This is what's providing you with the lifestyle that you're living. This is good for you. You're gonna get bigger, you're gonna get better right here on YouTube, get more subscribers, get more views, get more money. So that often outweighs all of the negative, such as, you know, being unhealthy. This is something that was happening to me for a long time in my addiction. But for example, let's say a rapper who is making money because their brand, if you will, is drinking and doing drugs. That's their brand. That's how they're making their money. And we've seen so many musicians pass away from drug abuse. But the thing is, what was stopping them when part of their brand is to keep screwing up and doing this unhealthy behavior? Does that make sense? Now, when it comes to a relapse, one of the many components that comes into it is accountability. So for me personally, I relapsed multiple times, and I was ready to give up. Again, remember, the brain lies to us when we're struggling with addiction. Something I needed was accountability. For my accountability, it came from 12-step meetings, but in other cases, you know, it could be support groups. And there's things like Overeaters Anonymous, online support groups, Facebook groups, and all that stuff. Over at The Rewired Soul, we have a Facebook group. We also have a Discord server. It's important to have accountability buddies, right? People who check in with you daily and say, hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? But the key to addiction recovery is willingness, okay? If you have willingness, anything is possible. One of the reasons for my multiple relapses was because I didn't have willingness, or I would have willingness for maybe like a day, and then I would go back to my old behaviors. No amount of accountability, because I can have people all the time calling me out on it, but if I didn't have the willingness, I wasn't going to get better. In someone's case like Amberlynn Reid, it can be difficult because you have the enabling, but then you also have people attacking her and putting her down. There's so much hate out there, right? And one of the reasons that people continue doing their unhealthy behavior is because not only are they getting external hatred, but they have a lot of internal hatred as well. Part of what Amberlynn Reid might be going through is the self-hatred. Knowing that she's messing up, doesn't feel good about herself. This can fuel other toxic behaviors. Like there's things about giveaways and all those other things. You gotta understand, when people are in their addiction, one of the reasons that they're hurting other people is because they don't care about themselves. If they don't care about themselves, why are they gonna care what you think about them? That is why a lot of addicts do very bad behaviors. But another part of the prefrontal cortex is responsible for empathy and morality. We have a hard time in active addiction connecting with other people's feelings and understanding how bad we're hurting these people too. I always say whenever I've done a video over on my channel about Amberlynn Reid, I hope the best for her. I do not think, and I've never met somebody who is a hopeless case. I don't think anybody is a hopeless case, but it starts with accountability, right? No, it starts with willingness, and then a lot of it comes from accountability. And again, thank you so much, Ryan, for having me as a guest, and I will see you all next time.
So can Amberlynn Reid change? Can she dig herself out from this gigantic hole that she has put herself in? As Chris said, anybody can recover. However, you must first be willing to accept that change. Change will not come to you. As I know far too well, the only person that could ever make a difference in one's life is yourself. And I want to give a huge shout out to my friends Doplex and Chris Boutte who were in this video. I couldn't do it without them. And if you want to check out my friend Chris's video on Amberlynn, the card is right above. Go check that out. I'd love to know what you think down in the comments below. Can Amberlynn change? And have you ever experienced something like I or Amberlynn has gone through? Remember, I'm Ryan, and I'll see you in the next video.